from the Dallas Cowboys going to the Super Bowl to the Dallas Cowboys need to fire everyone. The Cowboys did suffer a really bad loss to the Arizona Cardinals. What do you think is a big overreaction from this game?
Well, it's bad in a very real sense, in fact, a double real sense. It's bad because standings-wise, there sit the Eagles,
Right.
undefeated. And in the NFC, there sit the 49ers. Now, you get your crack at them.
Yeah.
You get the 49ers coming up here in week 5 after the Cowboys play New England. We shall see the
Right.
Ezekiel Elliott homecoming, the Will Greer homecoming, too,
Yeah.
for anybody who's something more than a casual. And the Cowboys get 2 cracks at Philadelphia. And while they never do very well, relatively speaking, against the 49ers, they fare very well against the Eagles. So,
True.
Having said all that, you're still now chasing them. And if you're a Cowboy fan, I think it is right to have this in your head. I hope we don't get to December and we finish out of the playoffs or
Yeah.
out of the whatever
That one
by
loss.
one game.
Right.
And then there's the physical and the emotional hangover of what happened there. And I do think a lot of it was the Cowboys believing their own press clippings.
Yeah.
I do obviously believe that it was the emotional aftermath of Trayvon Diggs and the injury.
Yeah.
There's also some personnel issues. They were scrambling to put together an offensive line that
Totally.
week. So all those things happened. Now what do you do? I have advocated for the idea, because this is a very, this team talks a lot, this Cowboy team. And they do it very eloquently.
Yeah.
And they do it with a great deal of color and entertainment. But maybe there's a place for quiet confidence. And I think you got humbled a little bit, and so quiet confidence is an appropriate place. If they can learn that for themselves
Yeah.
from what happened in Arizona, and then go deal with New England. And I'm not saying that New England's a pushover at all. Bill Belichick against the Cowboys
Yeah.
does not sound like a pushover to me. So maybe the Patriots will take care of their business with Zeke here. I think it's more likely the Cowboys take care of theirs.
Yeah, you know Bill's going to come in with some sort of master defensive plan. What is one thing, though, you think actually is concerning about the Cowboys after all those penalties, the bad run defense, the red zone issues, the offensive line injuries?
You can't escape the red zone thing.
Yeah.
And there's a twist here, because in terms of in the last year and change, in terms of executing in the end zone last year, or red zone, and then getting to the red zone this year, Cowboys are number 1 in the league.
Yeah.
So it is half the battle. Once you get up to the plate in the major leagues,
Yeah.
hey, you're a Major League Baseball player. It's half the battle.
Yes.
Now don't strike out every time. In the second half at Arizona, the Cowboys get not only inside the red zone, but inside the 10 4 times and come away with it with 6 points. Well, that does not compute. And so the Cowboys, in terms of red zone greatness last year, number 1 in the league, right now number 27. I do appreciate that Big Mike, head coach of the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, said, it's kind of on me. I regret maybe running when we were trying to chase the score. Maybe that was a mistake. I still think that you go back to the Dak Prescott interception.
Yeah.
He's throwing it to somebody that's not open, who's covered by 3 guys. Mathematics tells me there might have been 2 guys open somewhere else. So execution and personnel and game plan, the Cowboys lost it in every way. Red zone is fixable, and McCarthy is saying here inside the Star, this week, extra time spent at practice, and we are at and will be at practice all week, so we get to see at least a flavor of it.
Yeah.
Extra red zone practice for the offense this week. Job 1 for Dallas.
One thing that we have seen is Tony Pollard really excelling in that lead back role. He leads the NFL with 64 carries. What has stood out to you about Pollard so far?
Well, I think, and this kind of slaps in the face the idea that, if the Cowboys only had Zeke. Nothing against Ezekiel Elliott, who has had in New England, his first 2 games were rather plodding, and then last week they record a win, and Zeke was good.
Kind of feels like he's ramping up for his Cowboys return.
That's fair. And I think it's also a fair prediction. I think Bill Belichick trying to put the emotion in a bottle here.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott succeeding in some way at Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott scoring a touchdown at AT&T Stadium on Sunday, that can stuff some emotion into a bottle for them, for the Patriots, in a good way, and not so good for Dallas. But to say that the Cowboys are missing something when they don't have Zeke, to me, the critic is missing something. Tony Pollard hadn't done anything wrong. Tony Pollard's got carries in the red zone. He doesn't have enough touchdowns for the Cowboys, but in terms of pass protection, running inside the tackles, staying healthy, being electric, if Tony Pollard at running back is your problem, you don't have any problem.
We are here at practice at the start. Have you been hearing any whispers about this Cowboys team?
The plan for Sunday at AT&T Stadium.
Okay.
And of course, we make a big issue out of the Ring of Honor and Jimmy Johnson and all that. We're going to see DeMarcus Ware in the Ring of Honor and a celebration for that at some point this year. There is a suggestion from Jerry on 105.3 The Fan this week that there's going to be a something for Zeke.
Yeah. He said he didn't want to ruin the surprise.
And I don't want to blow the surprise.
Yeah.
And that's hard for Jerry.
Yeah.
He's not a very good secret keeper.
Hard for me too. I get it.
Yeah. He's a bad liar.
Yeah.
And he's a bad secret keeper. So maybe we'll bump into him later today. We'll ask him again. And after he says no comment, we'll ask him again. Do you pull out the rocking chair for Zeke? No, that wouldn't be appropriate. He didn't retire.
Right.
Do you give him a jersey? Well, he's already got a bunch of, I don't know. Maybe it's just a warm welcome from the audience, you,
or
and
then
a video tribute.
Yeah,
that would make a lot of sense. And by the way, there's some wisdom in doing that. Not only is it nice and fair to do that to a guy who was a machine here and a two-time NFL rushing champion before he got ground down by the other machine, which is playing NFL football. You can take, if you're nice to him, you can take the Patriots' emotional edge of let's do it for Zeke away just a little bit. You can make it so the Patriots and Zeke himself maybe is not particularly angry about the circumstance, at least for a moment. So a video tribute by Brie Amaranthus. Maybe not, I don't know if it's going to be by you, but the idea comes from you. That works for me, and that would be something that the Patriots, players, and even fans certainly can embrace. And something that I guarantee you at AT&T Stadium, Cowboy fans will indeed embrace as well.
After the Dallas defense held their first two opponents to only 10 points, we were thinking, wow, this Dallas defense is going to go down in the history books. Then their run defense in particular looked really bad in week 3 against the Cardinals. Do you feel like it was just an oops game, or did this actually show some of their weaknesses?
There's a lesson learned for us and for fans and for maybe the team itself, Cowboys or whoever else. Jalen Carter, the Eagles rookie, has been terrific early on. And so one of our guys covering the Eagles and the Cowboys with Sports Illustrated and Arena Group puts on Twitter, our friend Max puts on Twitter, Jalen Carter is already better than Micah Parsons.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. He just got here. Of course, the same mindset says Micah Parsons is already as good as Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
And none of those things can be true after 2.5 games or 2.5 years. So I like to say, let the cake bake. What happened in Arizona, I think in part was, I do think the Cowboys defensive players, maybe not the game plan, but the players anticipated, listen, we're going to win 37-6.
Joshua Dobbs.
Why don't we go
that?
Right. So why don't we just go ahead and rush the passer now and get it over with? And then you start rushing the passer early on, and while you're rushing the passer, there goes the running back running by you. I think if you did a deep dive film study, I think you would see that maybe the Cowboys were chasing sacks, chasing stats, maybe not being fully responsible for their running lanes. And that could be a learn from. That doesn't have to happen again. I would think that Dan Quinn against the Patriots this week, and Bill Belichick is as good as it gets. Right. But I would like to think that Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator in Dallas, is not going to get out maneuvered again, at least not in that particular area.
Yep.